Good morning, TL Travelers, and welcome back to the TL Travel YouTube channel. This morning we are waking up just outside of Halifax, Nova Scotia, and in the spirit of sharing my love for the East Coast, I thought now might be a great time to share with you my visitor's guide for Nova Scotia. Now, full disclosure, I am not an East Coast local, but I am an East Coast enthusiast and I use my local connections wisely. So if some of these stops do sound a little bit touristy to you as a local, that would be why. But I also plan on throwing in some local tips along the way just to mix things up. So if this is something that interests you and you are excited to learn a little bit more about Nova Scotia and planning a trip to the East Coast, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and let's just jump right into it. So starting strong, we have the world famous Cabot Trail. The Cabot Trail makes a 298-kilometer loop around a sizable portion of Cape Breton Island and passes through the Cape Breton Highlands National Park at its northernmost point. Rising up from the sea, the Cabot Trail will take you from jaw-dropping ocean vistas to quaint fishing villages and is known to be one of Canada's most scenic drives. Do yourself a favor and set aside several days to enjoy this drive, and don't forget to pack your camera to capture all of the stunning scenery that you're sure to find along the way, especially if you're visiting in the fall to enjoy those beautiful fall colors. Next up, we have Peggy's Cove, and sure, it may be one of the more touristy places to go, but as I often say, popular tourist stops are popular tourist stops for good reason. It's not just about the iconic lighthouse at Peggy's Cove, but the breathtaking views of Nova Scotia's rugged coastline as well. Make sure to take some time to explore the village while you're there. I highly recommend making a stop at Tom's Lobster Shack for one of the best lobster rolls that I had this time around in Nova Scotia. Then head out for a view of the lighthouse, making use of the boardwalk or along the rocks, but please be cautious of the powerful waves and respect the posted signage. Let's step away from the coastline for a moment though and head further into the valley, because in case you didn't know, Nova Scotia actually has a thriving wine industry. Wine country in Nova Scotia is an absolute must if you can work it into your itinerary. Visit picturesque vineyards, including Luckett's and others that I will leave in the description down below if you want to check them out, and sample some of the region's award-winning wines. And if food and drinks are your thing, then you'll definitely want to spend some time in Halifax for a taste of that vibrant city life. Halifax, the province's capital city, is a major international seaport and transportation center, as well as the cultural hub of the region. Dine out downtown or explore the restaurants and shops along the Halifax waterfront, or to enjoy the city from a different vantage point, join a tall ship Silva sailing cruise and view the city from the water. And be sure to visit the East Coast Lifestyle flagship store to pick up some true East Coast gear located just across from the Halifax seaport if you're looking for a great souvenir from your trip. Fun fact, no point in Nova Scotia is more than 60 kilometers from the sea, and this historic yet modern city is no exception. So we've talked about Cape Breton, we have talked about wine country, and we've talked about the province's capital, but what about the iconic South Shore? Cities and towns on the South Shore, including Chester, Mahone Bay, and Lunenburg, make for an absolutely beautiful afternoon out exploring. Mahone Bay was recently named as one of Canada's top 10 most beautiful towns and a must-see town famous for its picture-perfect 3 churches. Lunenburg is a former rum-running and shipbuilding port town that's now brightly painted and has also been named as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And South Shore also includes Oak Island. Yes, that Oak Island. Plan to spend more than just a few days in each of these regions to experience all that Nova Scotia has to offer, or simply choose the region that excites you the most. For being Canada's second smallest province, it certainly has more than enough to offer visitors to the region, and you absolutely will never regret planning a trip here. Before you plan your trip though, let's just go over a few quick tips that will help you make your adventure and trip planning a breeze. So the first is just that weather here can change on a dime, so you're gonna wanna pack some light layers and make sure to check the weather before you depart for your adventure of the day and not just your entire trip, because again, weather changes quickly. The second is that you're definitely going to want to consider renting a car for your adventures. There is so much for you to see and do here, and although the province is small, it's not that small, and so a rental car is always really going to come in handy. And the third is just to remember that the people here are so kind and welcoming, so always feel free to ask locals for recommendations. If you find yourself in a little chat, the locals will always know things about the best food, little hidden hikes, and all that fun stuff. That's what I do in every country that I visit, but here in Nova Scotia, the people are so friendly and just always happy to help. But that's gonna be it for me for today and my visitor's guide to Nova Scotia. If you have any tips that you'd love to share, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I'll be sure to leave some links in the description as well. And moving forward, we still have more East Coast content coming your way, so be sure to hit the like and subscribe button if you are heading this way, or even if you're just looking to live vicariously. And until the next one, stay great, travel safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.